Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for the stay.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
The new McCrispy Strip is here. Dip approved by ketchup, tangy barbecue, honey mustard, Sprite, McFlurry, Big Mac sauce, double dipped in buffalo and ranch, more ranch, and creamy chili McCrispy Strip Dip. Now at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking.
Back at it again with another shade of blue. We are the KC Soccer Journal. My name is Cody Bradley. Thad Bell, Kerry Robinson, and Robert Russert are all here with me. Welcome, everyone. Sporting KC still pulling out some results. A 3-3 thriller. A nice comeback win. Didn't get all 3 points, but that was a really fun game. So we're going to talk about KZ. We've got the Current are still atop the table. Things are more fun again. I'm liking this. It was a good weekend to be a fan of soccer in Kansas City. So I'm just going to jump right into it. Kerry Zavagnin, KZ. I'm sorry, she perked up when I said that, and I had to correct myself. So KZ, the head coach. No, I'm sorry. KZ, the head coach of Sporting Kansas City, he's pushing all of the right buttons. Whatever he did at halftime, Thad, that worked.
Yeah, it did. I wish he would do it at the beginning of the game.
That's fair. But we were talking last week about the end game for Kerry, what we think of him, what this tenure is going to look like. And, I mean, at least he has the team in the right mentality. I suppose that's a fair question of why didn't they do this at the beginning of the game. But he seems to be pushing the right buttons, good substitutions. Clearly said something at halftime that changed the game.
I think the biggest thing was he just changed players, quite honestly.
Yeah.
Some players were struggling in that first half, and they made a change, and things perked up very quickly.
Yeah, Robert, that back line that we've been talking a lot about did not look good at all in that first half.
Well, Thad, you used the word struggling. I don't even know if it was that good, because there were two guys out there who... One of them didn't really seem to care a whole lot. He didn't really want to play defensively, work defensively at all, and get back. I'll let you guys guess who that might be.
Name names.
And the other one was just clueless, like marking space. I don't know, some blade of grass he thought was pretty, and he wanted to stand by it. I don't know, but those guys, they were a hint on the right side of the field. Anyway, those guys were out of it. But also the way that New England was moving the ball pulled our center backs out a lot. And then when they get pulled out, we had trouble covering. Bartlett got pulled up the field, and they'd fill in the space behind him by playing quick passes. So, yeah, it was just credit to New England, first of all. Second of all, needed to be much, much better.
It was really bad. They were getting dogged on by both announcers after that second goal went in, just making fun of them. What are they doing? I don't know what's happening. Kerry, what did it look like in the Cauldron?
I was in the Cauldron, actually.
Oh, you weren't? Oh, okay. I thought you were.
No,
she was in our section, right?
Yeah, I was with my dad. So whenever he has tickets, I usually go sit over with him and my sister. But it's crazy how both of the first half goals against Sporting were the exact same play because of those two certain individuals.
Yeah.
And they realized that after that first goal, they're like, let's just go do it again. And it's identical.
But so Kerry made those 2 subs. KZ made those 3 subs at the half, both outside backs left. So what did you think of Kyrie as he came in there?
Well, Kyrie is Kyrie. We love him. But other thing that KZ, sorry, was that he pushed that line of confrontation higher. And that's why my note says, you're at home. Why don't you push up high when you're at home and push the issue and play that high pressure from the beginning? Why are you waiting until halftime?
That if it was the subs that he made that made all of the difference, then you had to have liked Kyrie because that was just 1 of 3. He was 33% of those subs.
Well, he did better than Brody.
Yeah, Brody did not look good at all.
And in fairness, players can have bad games. And, we praise Shoppy for some stuff and we praise Brody for some stuff. But then if they're both having a bad game, they both really contributed to not having a good game in the first half. Kyrie helped. Robert's probably right that, yes, they pushed the line up. But that was also beneficial that Kyrie was out there and could leg out some stuff, and Tommy, and they actually worked pretty well out there.
When Sporting Kansas City was pushing for that, I guess the 4th goal after they'd been equalized on, and Revolution was kind of pushing at us, we did get a few chances, especially towards, I think, I'll just say stoppage time. I don't know if it was the first 5 minutes, the second 5 minutes, because it was a lot of stoppage time. But there was a moment where I was like, Kyrie, keep pushing, because he just kind of stood there. He got close to the box. He could have whipped it in, it's just crazy to kind of remember that he started as a 9 in his career.
Yeah.
Yes, he's been pushed back to this defensive position for so long, but you'd think that in some way he would still have the mentality of a striker to keep pushing and trying to find that last pass at least.
I know.
He played wing a lot.
He did. I've thought about this a lot, Kerry, because I've thought that same thing where it's like, oh, once he gets up there, like, dude, you got the ball up there. You used to do this. It seems like some instinct would kick in, and he doesn't. Maybe that's why he's not up there anymore. But, yeah, I don't know if it's just that he's so focused on learning the defensive side and that part of the game. But, yeah, I always thought that there would maybe be a lot more value there if he happens to get the ball at his feet up in that advanced position. But it hasn't really ever worked out like that. Logan and Denbe, go ahead.
Oh yeah, Kerry, I don't know if you're talking about the time where the ball was like chipped over the top and he ran onto it, the edge of the box. All he had to do was have a good first touch, get his head up and play the ball to the open man, probably top of the box, right? But his first touch was awkward, and then he had to take another touch, and the play just went nowhere. Was that the one you might be referring to?
Yeah, I feel like there was maybe 2 in that sequence somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's also something that I've noticed multiple games. Like, this is just like a new thing. Like, I've been seeing this for half a season, even last year, I feel.
He did seem to be connecting well with Tommy, I thought, though, because he chipped a couple balls up over to Tommy, played a couple through. They did a little bit of nice interchange down there. Now, it didn't go into the box, like that's the problem, but they were at least not losing it as badly.
Tommy came in for Shoppy, who also did not have a great game, because I, of course, predicted before the game he was going to score at least 1. So he had to have his worst game in the shirt as a result of that. Tommy came in. I've had my issues with Tommy and wanting more from him. Outside of that shot that he took that almost left the stadium entirely, I thought that he had a really good game, Kerry.
Oh, me, Kerry.
That Kerry, yeah.
Sorry, I did take a second. No, I mean, also towards the end, Tommy was trying to play hero ball, which I feel like he does not have that anymore. I wrote this in Slack, but we got him in 22 or 23, 22. And he was playing that hero ball. And I think ever since that season, he's felt still compelled to be like that last guy that gets that last goal to win everyone the game. And because of that, he was missing straight passes to Decky, who was at the top of the box in a much better position. And I mean, I could tell you before he hit the ball, I was like, he's missing this. What happened? He missed it.
Yeah. Trying to do too much is how I would describe his period of time here.
Yep.
Logan and Denbei
Yeah,
also came in and had an incredible game. Also had another Maradona. The team is just on a roll of Maradonas. He looked really good, man. And when those 3 subs happened, after that half, the first 16 whatever minutes it was, I don't think New England got the ball on their half of the field. I don't think they got it out of their defensive half one time for that 16 minutes. It was just a complete overhaul for that entire period. And then I guess maybe
that was because of one name, Cody. Who was that? Who dominated that midfield during that time?
Manu.
How about Zorhan?
Yeah, you're right. Zorhan
was a beast. Yeah.
Yeah, he made me really mad during the PK, the waiting for Joveljic to take that PK, and he was like causing a delay, messing around, and that really made me mad. And then he instantly made up for it when they got that 3rd goal right after it, because he stole it, intercepted it, took it all the way down the field, and started another run. Manu also had another good game. I'm loving his play, and I just wish that we had another high-quality player in there with him, because I think we would not just be resulting to, man, we're a gritty, scrappy team, and this can be fun this year. I think if there was another high-quality player there alongside him in the midfield, I think this team would be legit.
Would you say we're having fun?
I'm having fun. I am having fun
too. But, I mean, just since the beginning of the season, it's just been a throwaway, it feels like.
Yeah, absolutely.
And everyone's been like, this is not fun. Like, why are we going to games? But I think it's a fun moment at the moment.
Yeah, now we do know why. They fight back. They're a fun team to watch. They've got a bit of a chip on their shoulder. Gritty. The number one thing you got to be.
So, Cody, did you see the moment, the kind of deja vu moment from Manu?
Yeah. Oh, wait. No. I had a deja vu moment in the KC Current game, Thad. We're going to get to that later.
50th minute, before we scored the first goal in the 53rd, right? 50th minute, Manu gets the ball, drives to the middle of the field, and clips that hip-height ball into Decky. Did you remember? Did you see it? Yeah, it's like that was so much failhaber, but yeah, there was too many people in Decky's way there, but it was almost exactly the same as failhaber's ball.
Okay, what else have we missed from this game? Who else deserves a shout-out?
Well, can we talk about shout out as far as, Pulskamp?
Yeah, another good one.
You could blame him for a couple, but he made some nice saves late in the match to keep it at a 3-3 draw as well. So.
Yeah, there were some frantic moments at the back.
Yeah.
Oh, there definitely was. But he made some big saves, and I really don't fault him for at least a couple of those goals. So, that was, again, you there's only so much you can do as a keeper. I mean, you're kind of rooted to the ground, so.
So, Thad, we were talking about chip on the shoulder, the fight back, and all of that. It seemed like they had an extra reason to be a bit emotional and want to fight for a win this one, huh?
They did, and I also wonder if that played into a couple different things, too. Obviously, initially I saw, Shallowy made a couple of good runs and attempts early on. I mean, he was like a man possessed. He wanted to get a goal. And I was predicting he'd get a goal in like the next 10 minutes or something. I was thinking, because he was just he had 2 good opportunities, right? He tried also that side volley bike kick thing that went kind of astray, that looked very awkward, but you don't see him do that very often. So he was committed. He wanted to do it, but the emotion of the week, losing a friend and all that stuff for, a third of the team, because a lot of the team has changed since then. But he was one of the players that spoke earlier in the week. Tommy was one of the players that spoke earlier in the week. And sometimes that emotion can play both ways. You want to use it to drive you forward, but it can sometimes make you play hero ball or try too hard or whatever, and can have negative consequences. So I told some people before this game that it feels like it's almost a must win, because if you don't go out and play for Gotti and you lose, and it just is going to feel bad, and might be crushed. So at least it came out to the draw, and they played well for a chunk of the game.
Yeah. Well, all they needed was 16 minutes for that point. But love that celebration. That was good from Shallowy. 5 goals from Shallowy this season. I've really liked him the last couple games, Thad. Are we on the precipice of Shallowy unlocking and going on a tear of goals?
I think if the other players can live up to their part, because he can't do it on his own. I mean, when Decky is playing well, when Manu's playing well, when Shoppy's playing well, then he has a much better chance of unlocking and taking it to the level that we hope he can do.
Well, you think about where he was when he scored that goal, the follow-up on the shot. He wasn't even on the left wing. He was in the box on the right-hand side of it. And that's really what makes a difference in his game. He is mobile. He is one who looks for spots. He cuts across the box. He's not as stationary as, let's say, Shoppy is. He's always going to be out, where he's going to be doing his thing. So that's what makes a difference for Shallowy, for sure.
In that third goal, he was standing right there in open space, too, behind Manu. If that ball didn't go to Manu, it would have fallen right for him to do the same thing. Yeah, I like him. I've really liked him. He's looked different to my eye in the last couple weeks. Like he's a bit more hungry or a bit more dangerous, and I'm really hoping something more is coming from him. But yeah, like you said there, I wish we had a bit more firepower, maybe in the midfield, or I don't know. I don't know if the quality of the team is up to have him go on another 15-goal run.
But a real goal scorer, I have to say, would have scored that first opportunity that Shallowy had. Because all he had to do was wrap his foot around it and put it inside the far post, and didn't quite work out. But
I see a lot of people miss that, though.
That felt like one of those moments where it was like, that's going to be the reason why. It's going to be a 1-0 score, and it's going to be New England.
That's the old Sporting Kansas City. It's new vibes, Kerry. New vibes. They're gritty, and they fight back now.
Sorry, I'm thinking back to 2 months ago. Sporting Kansas City.
So long ago. For this team. That was a year ago, technically.
Yeah, but wasn't the first half really that, Kerry? Wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
It was old Sporting Kansas City right there.
Not good. Okay, yeah, what a night. That was lovely. I love to see this team fighting back. It makes me feel good. Soccer's fun again.
Yeah, but they need wins at home. They need wins. Mm-hmm. They need points, because it's good that they're getting results, and that's an improvement. But 1 point at a time isn't going to climb you up the table. I mean, it's right. Better than the cross state guys who haven't won a game in I don't know how long. But
we're gonna take a break.
So what did? What did we think of Jovelic's penalty? By the way, just get your thoughts on that. Was it a good penalty, or was it like, oh, not that good? Good thing the keeper went the other way.
It looked like it's his third one because they showed his last 6 PKs, and there were already 2 directly down the middle, and he did it again. So that's a scouting report on him that he likes just firing it down the middle, waiting for the keeper to move.
I hope that's what it was. I hope he saw the keeper move and he put it a little bit to the left, and that's a good PK. I hope it wasn't an attempt to go somewhere else.
I think it was
He deserves the benefit of the doubt right now, I think. He's converting them. He's looking good, scoring some goals.
According to his Instagram story, it seems like he had a daughter.
Hey, all right. I forgot about that.
Today?
Well, he was reposting a bunch of things about it being a girl. So.
Okay.
Maybe. Dad. Very nice.
Because actually I asked about that yesterday, and nobody that I asked knew. I mean, it was only a couple people, so it wasn't a ton of people. Because he was held out of that game, the previous game, because he was potentially going to have a kid, and the due date was actually Friday, so it was too close, and they didn't want to travel, and that was cool. But yeah, he played yesterday, and they didn't know still at that time if he had actually had a kid yet. So hey, I guess he has now.
All based off pink photos that he's reposted.
That's pretty definitive, though.
Yeah.
Well, they knew it was going to be a girl. I already knew that, I guess.
Okay.
But I don't know if you noticed, but when the PK was called, Tommy had picked up the ball and was walking over with it, and I'm just like, as much as I like Tommy, at times I just don't really want him to be the guy that's taking the PK. He does so much stuff good, but I didn't want that. And he was walking over with it, and then Jovic came over to him, and they kind of talked for a second, and Tommy held the ball out to him, and Jovic leaned down and kissed the ball, and then took it from him and set it down, and then he did the thumb thing and all that stuff at one point too after that. So,
well, he must not have had the baby before that goal, because we didn't see the classic just had a baby ball in the shirt celebration. So it must have come today is when that happened, I guess.
I'm thinking so, but yeah, I don't know. But they had a kid. Happy, congrats.
All right,
I wonder what the name will be.
Thad was talking about we need some wins on the table. We're going to look at the table and around Major League Soccer when we come back from break.
My cat Freddie loves to be brushed and cuddled. But stirring up his cat allergens meant sneezing and itchy eyes. Then I found Purina One Live Clear. It's cat food that reduced the major allergen and my suffering in as little as 21 days. Now, we feel closer than ever. If you have issues with cat allergens, you really need to try Purina One Live Clear.
Try new Purina One Live Clear today. Purina One, a difference from day one.
Building a portfolio with Fidelity Basket Portfolios is kind of like making a sandwich. It's as simple as picking your stocks and ETFs, sort of like your meats and other toppings, and managing it as one big, juicy investment. Now that's pretty good. Learn more at fidelity.com/baskets. Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
This episode is brought to you by Loom by Atlassian. Are you feeling stuck at work? Get your team unstuck with Loom video messaging and move work forward. Use Loom to simultaneously record both your screen and yourself, to share a quick update, provide feedback, train a colleague, and everything in between. Plus, add Loom AI to your meetings for instant written notes and recordings. Try Loom today at Loom.com. That's LOOM.com.
All right. Thad says 1 point by 1 point is not going to get us to climb the table. And Thad, that's kind of an interesting discussion. Until this point, it hasn't been about necessarily climbing the table. I'm just hoping to salvage some fun soccer and look at then we're in a rebuilding year, find some players we can carry into next year. But I think we're now at the point with all these results coming together, showing against some good teams. And I think if they pull off a win against Houston, that puts them at 16 points. They're a point behind Houston. And all of a sudden, I think the table does look very differently. Maybe I do start to look at this season with different expectations. The playoff line will be right there if they can get a win against Houston this week.
And there could be momentum, and you can get a summer signing, and there's all these things that could happen. But it would put you in a really good position if you can just start knocking out wins at home. I worry less about what they do on the road. If they come up short, yeah, sucks, but so what? But start building. Again, it's fun. It was fun. That comeback last night was fun. I mean, the cauldron was rocking. Everybody was celebrating. But 3 points would have been way better, especially in an emotional thing, an emotional night. That's when it was really needed.
3 of the next 5 are at home. So, yeah, home cooking would be good.
The LAFC game was rescheduled. I guess we didn't mention that yet. So no game on Wednesday. Next up is Houston on Saturday. And yeah, I'm looking at this table, and a win would really change the outlook of this for me. I think I'm already starting to get the itch of I'm giving this team some expectations. Now I want to win. They went to San Diego, stood toe to toe with them. Like, come on, they're giving me some hope here. I still don't think we're great, but yeah, get a little momentum, maybe a signing in the middle of the season, and Kerry, come on, am I wrong about this?
Yeah, I think if we can eventually score first, then maybe we'll have a better chance, and maybe not be down by 2 goals every time that we come back for a tie. But I agree. I think that this is still a very mid team, and maybe put them 1 notch above mid for fun. And I think that's the hope that kills you in the end, that this team always does.
1 notch above mid, and then you have a gritty team with a chip on their shoulder that you don't want to play that team in the playoffs. I'm just saying, this would be a really fun year if we land above mid and have that chip on her shoulder, sneak in the playoffs. This would be a lot of fun.
So, Cody, are you saying it won't be difficult to take over that team in the standings that just acquired a striker, William Agata, recently? You don't think that'll be too difficult?
Someone in our Slack sent a message from a fan of theirs asking if we will take him back because he sucks. And I'm not gonna say I told you so, but I definitely told you so.
All right, stand up and take credit, Kerry.
That was me. I found the tweet.
How did you find that? Were you searching for Willie Agata hate?
No, a mutual had actually responded to it, and I saw it from that. And then they were kind of talking in the replies, and then they just said he just missed a sitter from 6 yards out. and then the Sporting fan said, "Wait until he does that 3 more times."
Yeah, get used to it.
Missing sitters, diving. That's what he was. That's what I thought of him.
Yeah, but at least he did something positive for Sporting. He hasn't done that for Salt Lake yet at all.
And to be fair, he was the only one doing something positive for Sporting Kansas City during that time. So
yeah, and Johnny hasn't done anything either. I mean, he's only gotten a little bit of time. He didn't get in this last game, like 2 games ago or something. So he's not done much either.
We are still behind Salt Lake. They have a point on us still with 14.
Yep.
I can't believe that we sent Salt Lake both of our backflipping gods at the moment. Johnny hasn't backflipped in a while, of course, because he's getting older.
Yeah.
Agata backflips. We used to have Gadikinda who would, kind of land a backflip.
That's true.
He'd fail most of the time.
He would do like a double backflip with a twist or something. I mean,
Yeah, that's very true. We don't have a backflip.
We don't have that anymore.
I think that's a vital part of being a good team. You got to have one backflipper.
I agree. Who do you think could do it?
I know. I was just racking my brain. Could Basong? He doesn't score a lot of goals, but maybe Basong could whip one out. He's an athletic
And
guy.
Denbei with his calves. I mean,
Oh yeah, that's a good point. And
I had a friend say Shoppy, but then it might fix his posture.
I knew that was coming.
That's funny because I was thinking Shoppy too, just because he doesn't really have to get very high.
Yeah. So the Galaxy's still on 4 points. Another week without a point for them. We have more than 3 times the points of the defending champions right now.
Wow, we're good.
Yeah.
Opened up a little separation with St. Louis. They're next to last there with 11 points. Sporting KC at 13. Vancouver, man, 1 loss, 31 points already, and they eliminated Miami out of the Champions Cup. That's scary. Vancouver all of a sudden. And then San Diego's right there. But look who just went toe-to-toe with San Diego. I'm telling you, this team has me. The grittiness, they've got me. I'm starting to believe.
Hey, at least it is fun. At least they're doing things. At least although, again, some of those results were not necessarily fun, except the fact they were results. Right. They weren't pretty, but hey, a result and doing some comebacks is fun. I'll give you that. I just want.
Yeah, I mean, I think that stadium atmosphere has returned to some degree. It's not there yet where it used to be, but that's definitely been an improvement too.
It will take.
It was loud in the stadium last night.
Yeah, I do think it will take a little longer than it has currently been for fans to stop being so cynical. And more results like this where it's just like, oh, hey, yeah, like this is fun. It's like I'm happy to root for this team again, and I'm not just so resentful at who's leading it, et cetera, et cetera. I think it'll maybe take a little more time for that, but it's definitely coming back. It's like we said, it's fun again.
Mono even said something about that after the game. After actually most of the press had left the locker room, and Sperry and I talked to him for a second, and he said about how, some more results, especially wins, will help the fans come back and stuff like that. So he even knows that the fans aren't there as much as they could be.
Right.
And he's never seen that in person, really how they should be.
So, okay, this weekend against Houston, I got my eyes on this game, guys. Houston is in 10th place, right below the line, 17 points, and taking all 3 there in Houston's house. That would, I'm telling you, I'm liking the look of the table. I already see it. I already see us up there with 16 points, and I like the way this is going.
Weren't you the guy who saw Shoppy scoring a goal in this last game?
Okay, fair enough. You got me. All right, I'm switching gears after that, after being so thoroughly disappointed there. KC Current 3-1 over the Chicago Not Red Stars. 5 points clear over Orlando and Washington. That was a really fun game. And like I said, Thad, they scored a carbon copy of our favorite Sporting KC goal ever. Bia and Chawinga up there. Having Chawinga as a winger, where you have Bia, a great striker, who, sometimes you get in the position where your striker has to make the last pass, and then it goes to someone who's not the striker, but it just goes to Chawinga, who's an even more lethal striker. This team is so good, Thad.
And still missing so many good players.
Yeah.
Debhina out. And honestly, I didn't even expect Timwa to start. I thought maybe she'd come in towards, because she was pretty badly hurt in Orlando.
Yeah.
And then she comes in and starts and plays almost the full game. I mean, she went out like the 90th minute or something. Did you see who scored against the Current? Kerry knows.
I did, but I didn't. The name didn't ring a bell, I don't think.
Liberty native Shea Groom.
Yep.
Oh, that was Shea. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That was a name I knew, too.
Used to play for FCKC.
Yeah.
Played up in Liberty, Kearney, played for Hugh Williams, all that stuff. So, yeah. Nice header.
Both Sheas of the league got goals yesterday and the day before. Shea Groom and then Shea Holmes and whatever team. Seattle, I think. But it just a fun random fact out there.
No, I like weird random facts. I did not know that.
This one is less weird and random, but it is a fact. Chawinga is at 6 goals, 1 behind Barbara Banda, of course. Those two are duking it out again for the Golden Boot. She is in first with 7, but the Current have 3 in the top 10. Debhina is right behind her with 5 goals, and Bia is tied with a whole bunch of people at 3. But the goals are coming from everywhere. The team is just clicking right now, and I'm waiting for the Shield at the end of this year, Thad.
Yeah, and heck, even Kayla Sharples has 2 goals. I mean, damn.
I know. That was a great rising header that she had.
She only scores in teal currently.
Yep. That's very, very true.
She is yet to score in the red kit.
So it's not too early to be doing this, right? There are a couple more games, and they'll be at the halfway mark, and they're starting to stretch out a lead over the rest of the league.
Yeah, but they have a break now for a little while because of the international break.
That's right.
They have a break, and then they have a game. Their last game before summer break is like June 20th, and then they're done until August 1st.
Yeah, but there'll be something to fill in that space.
Some 3D printed trophy.
No, they've actually ordered the trophy for it.
Okay, someone welded metal together. It's not a plastic printed trophy.
I actually asked, and yes, I do. I was kind of put on embargo for saying too much, so I won't say too much. But I asked if it was a real trophy, not a 3D printed trophy, and I was told yes. They've actually ordered the trophy.
But they embargoed this like it's a scoop. What the trophy is made out of? Why would that?
No, what the tournament is. What the tournament is.
Oh, okay, I was like, what? What is this protecting? Okay.
But yeah, it should be a tournament the Current can and should win.
Okay.
So
was that a hint? I think he was trying to hint something. It didn't help me at all there, though.
I mean, he could really just be saying that the Current are so good that at this stage in the season.
Well, no, that's what I mean, because it goes without saying that they could win any tournament. That's why that felt significant. That it's like
Leagues Cup Part 2.
Yeah, like against some lesser competition somewhere. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's onto something.
We're playing the Kansas City Current 2. And I was supposed to win that. We're in TST again.
No, KC Current 2 just plays against China. So
I haven't heard anything about TST yet this year. Is that happening? Doesn't it always go on in June? We're almost in June.
Did you not listen to the Current podcast?
Oh,
no,
nope,
he
missed
does
it.
not.
I missed that one this week. I do listen to that show. Like I check into that. I don't like listen religiously, but yes, I missed that one. I'm sorry.
No, there's a KC Current 2 team in the women's TST tournament, and it's like 3 times as big as it was last year. Because last year it was the first year and they only had like 4 or 5 teams.
Yeah.
Now they have 12.
More.
Yeah,
Now they have more.
Probably more than 12. Like they have it enough for like they're broken up into brackets, like a World Cup.
Yeah, I don't know how many it is, but they also will get like $1 million for the winner. So, which I don't know how that works if it's filled out with college kids, but
right.
Hey, and some old USA teams, old players, 40-year-olds out there versus 18 and 19-year-olds.
Yeah, but I was just thinking the current team is probably going to be mostly college kids.
So the website doesn't appear to have any teams listed yet, but they're using Nani still in their branding. I hope he's not back. I hated that team. It's a really fun tournament. The TBT is the basketball tournament is here in Kansas City this year.
Oh, nice.
Where at?
My place of business at Municipal Arena.
Oh, is that a scoop?
Wrong sport, but yeah, I got the scoop on basketball things.
I'm trying to give you some credit there, Cody.
All right. Anything? Final thoughts on the current?
Getting lonely up here with 24 points. No one else has hit 20. Well, pending the Waves game tonight, they could get up to 20, but it's lonely up here.
That's not lonely. That's happy in solidarity, alone at top of the table. That's a good alone.
Build a cushion in case there's a bad game.
That'll come.
Yeah. So
but honestly, they already did. Actually, didn't they have a 2-game period where
they lost 2 in a row? Yes.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting because Lowe and Hutton and Cooper are headed off to the national team now.
Yeah. Congrats to Lowe on the first call up. That's really cool.
Roger takes credit for it, by the way.
What? How? What did he do?
I think it's just that he keeps taunting her that he's got caps and she didn't. So.
I was going to say moral support. I would have been wrong there.
I could be guessing wrong. I don't want to put words into his mouth, but by the way he was laughing, I was taking it that way.
Emma Hayes said that she was thinking about calling Lowe up as an alternative for the Olympics, but then opted for a younger person that would probably have more impact later on in the national team. So
yeah, which is why the big surprise that she got called up, because she's probably not going to have a long-term impact on the national team for any major tournaments, but
right.
But she can come up. She can babysit.
It's respect for her body of work.
Right.
Yeah. Plus, you never know, man. Maybe she seems to be getting better, not slowing down.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Maybe she will be around for the next World Cup and be competing at a high level. I would not put money on it. I know. So, but congrats to her, and I will be going to one of those games. So
in St. Louis?
No, I've been there enough.
Gotcha.
I'm going to the Minnesota game.
Okay.
So hopefully, at least she's in the 20 or whatever number they put out there, and I can get a picture of her in some U.S. gear.
Making fun of St. Louis is just such an easy joke for me. It just makes me laugh every time. It just sounds funnier coming from you, hailing from the area.
I grew up outside of St. Louis, man. I didn't even like going to St. Louis when I lived in the area. I went down there to go to a Cardinals game or indoor soccer game or something. And even like the year after I got out of the military and I was living back in St. Louis, I worked downtown and I did not like it. But I don't like downtown, so I don't love even downtown Kansas City, but I like that way better than I do downtown St. Louis.
You should watch, Cody, you should watch St. Louis's like highlights, because I'm pretty sure they show the worst miss of Klaus ever.
Oh my God, thank you.
I mean, he's like running in. Okay, St. Louis had 2 good opportunities in the same play. The first one gets blocked. It's a little bit more closer to Daniel Shallowy's attempts, except for the keeper actually blocked it into a spot that Klaus is running into the box, wide open, and he just slips.
Ah, good. That's even better than like shanking it. That being clumsy makes it better.
Yeah, I do have to admit that I go read the St. Louis City Reddit like every couple days, especially after games, to see how distraught they are and how they have finally come to the realization that they are not God's gift to soccer to a certain degree, because, they were never going to lose. They were never going to be bad. They were always going to be top of the table. And it just doesn't work that way.
I think it's okay to drink those tears in such a manner because they do that. The team has been around for 2 years, 3 years. You can't be that hurt by them not being great right now. And so that's why like their worlds collapsing is so funny. You don't have the years of loyalty and spending your money and coming to this team and the ups and the downs. They still just act like their world is collapsing, and I'm going to eat up every second of it. Thad, you were talking about Roger a second ago. Did you see the last Behind the Shield? They were interviewing all of the draft picks. It was kind of about the super draft.
I did not see it. I will watch it though.
I've missed several Behind the Shields. Maybe they aren't as good as they used to be, but this was a fun one.
Well, it's not as fun to watch when the team was sucking so bad.
I guess that's true.
And
it's not the video team's fault.
No, it's not. I mean, those guys all do great work, but it's hard to like put content out when everything is so bad. I mean, that's why I felt sorry for the social media people, like, oh, hey, we got a new promotion. Oh, why are you so bad? Fire for me. Like,
yeah, man. Remember those days, how dark it got? Like Sporting Kansas City posted a Happy Easter, just like a little graphic of Happy Easter, and people were replying like, they shared on Reddit, like, how tone deaf is this to just say this when the team is so bad?
Yeah, we're just wishing you happy holidays, man. It's like, here's a promotion. You could win some camping gear. No, you suck. Like,
it feels so good to look back on how long ago that was, 2 months ago, when things were so much worse with the team. How much
they should have some. They should have some fun content coming out for Matt Beasler's induction. They had a microphone set up in the cauldron in the brew house, and then it was just a microphone, but then up, like, you can walk up the stairs and they had the camera pointing down, so you could just like kind of give reflections. Yeah.
Oh, that was cool. Okay, we'll be right back.
You're the perfect blend of elegance and style, and your ride should be no different. The 2024 Hyundai Sonata Hybrid meets all your needs, from business to brunch and everywhere in between. With head-turning details like a sleek front end, plus stylish interior, and an available 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster and seamless tech integration. Okay, Hyundai. Visit HyundaiUSA.com to learn more about the new 2024 Hyundai Sonata Hybrid.
This episode is brought to you by GM Genuine Parts and AC Delco. Get the most out of your vehicle with GM Genuine Parts and AC Delco Original Equipment. The only parts designed, engineered, tested, and backed by General Motors. You can find your perfect fit for most makes and models and choose from 3 tiers of parts, including GM OE or gold and silver aftermarket parts. Visit gmparts.com for more information.
This episode is brought to you by PetSmart. Stop by for Yappy Hour with your pet at PetSmart. Save $5 on walk-in grooming services like nail trims, ear cleaning, brushing, and more. No appointment needed every weekday from 2 to 6 p.m. And while you're there, Yappy Hour includes exclusive in-store deals, like 25% off pet toys. Visit services.petsmart.com/grooming to learn more.
It's the Smucker's Uncrustables podcast with your host, Uncrustables. Okay, today's guest is rough around the edges. Please welcome Crust.
Thanks for having me.
Today's topic, he's round with soft, pillowy bread.
Hey.
Filled with delicious PB&J.
Are you talking about yourself?
And you can take him anywhere.
Why'd you invite?
And we are out of time.
Are you really cutting me off?
Uncrustables are the best part of the sandwich. Sorry, Crust.
Thad would like to do something that is maybe a little sad, but I think it's important. I do want to do this. So if we're going to do an in memoriam, I'm hoping to find audio that works behind it.
Better not be like a Benny Hill song or some shit.
Like in the Oscars when they show everyone that died. Does this work? How about this is called Daydreaming? Nope, that's too happy. I feel like we're celebrating deaths with that one.
I have to do it with a beat, man. I can't do that.
He's gonna rap all the names.
Ooh, we're getting closer. This feels ethereal.
Are we?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Too happy. It feels like heaven, though, right? It's like a little...
Rest and relax.
Bit of a Twilight Zone.
Let your body flow.
Ooh, night driving.
Slowly relax the muscles in your toes. Like that's...
Cody has lost the plot.
I think I hit a winner here with this. I'm gonna bring it way down. Thad, you and Mike worked on a list.
Yeah, and I was thinking about it, and with the passing of Gotti Kenda, I was just thinking back of some of the people that had been Wizards sporting people that had passed away. So I knew 4 of them off the top of my head, so I had to go to Mike Kuhn to get the other 2, because of course Mike Stat Kuhn did that right off the top of his head. I'm sure.
I do like this. The combined knowledge of 2 of the biggest soccer knowledge brains in Kansas City coming together for this sad list. Let's do it.
I do have to admit I forgot so much, but anyway, one of the, just running down the list, not necessarily in time order, but player John DeBrito had played for the Wizards back in 97-98. He passed away in the March of 2020.
I don't know that name.
He was a name I knew, but I didn't think of, so Mike told me that one. Damian Silvera. I didn't even remember that guy's name. Sorry, Damian.
Well, see, that's why we're doing this. That's good.
But he played in 97 for like just 3 games, but he played some other places. He passed away in 2010. Scott Vermillion. He's actually a local Kansas City guy. He was from, I think, Independence, but he passed away in 2020. And he was first player to have been diagnosed with the chronic traumatic encephalopathy after he had after he died.
I remember. I'm glad you clarified that, because I remember that name and I was thinking there was something significant there. Yeah, the first CTE in MLS.
Yeah. So he was a local Kansas City guy. Played for the Wizards for a while, and then tragically passed away from stuff. Ron Newman, who was the first manager for the Wizards from 96 to 99, he passed away in 2018. He was also a longtime indoor coach, coached San Diego Sockers to 27 billion trophies, helped the NASL be better. And he also had the weirdly specific milestone of being the second ever substitution in English football.
Ooh.
Because remember, they didn't used to allow substitutions. You played.
Right.
So he was playing for Gillingham. So he was the second substitution when he was a player.
He had such a good... I would have only remembered him like from, later in his age, but he just had such a good look of a soccer coach. And I've Googled him. He was actually kind of a handsome guy, as this picture is like with the 70s suit and the 70s hair. Handsome dude.
Yeah. And there's a classic clip out there where he was trying to get an opposing player to fight him while he was a Wizards manager. Because he was just trying to kill time to win out the game or tie it out or whatever. But he was like calling the other guy names that were not appropriate, but he was calling him names and trying to get him to fight him.
And for that, I have clicked on this Soccer America article that's titled "Remembering Ron Newman, the Delightful American Soccer Pioneer," for doing things like fighting the players on the field to get a result. That's America right there, baby.
But he had a lot to do with a lot of different things around and building soccer in America. He did a lot. Uche Okafor, which was one of my favorite players. He played in 96, 2000, played for Nigeria internationally stuff. He played 109 games. He died in 2011.
All-time name, Uche Okafor. All-time athlete name.
He's one of those I would love to see on some kind of memorial thing in the stadium. Even maybe he doesn't earn a place on the legends, but just he was a really good player.
Was he? OG. He was an OG Wizard. Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Right.
Yep. He was, like I said, he was one of my favorite players early on. Just really fun guy, always smiling. But played really well. And then of course Gotti Kenda. So. I think there's 6 players / coaches that have passed away that have been a Wizard or sporting player or coach. And the other thing is we all have kind of like talked about how Gotti's passing really affected, the team, I don't know if you saw the presser with Eric Tommy in this last week, but it's the first time I've ever seen Sporting actually cut something out of the video that they put out from a presser. Maybe they've done it before, but it's the first time I've ever noticed it. They took like a minute and a half out of it because Tommy just couldn't talk. He started and then he choked up, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is really awkward, and I feel so bad for the guy, and he's shedding real tears up there and stuff like that. But so we know how badly it affected the teammates, because you get so close when you're a teammate for that time. You're in there fighting for each other and training together and living together and all this type of stuff. But also remember, all the trainers and coaches and even the PR staff become really good friends with these people, and they maybe didn't get recognized in some of that grief or allowed to mourn the same way that maybe the players were. So just condolences to all the people who really got to know him really well with the team. And
even the PA announcer last night, voice cracked when he announced.
Yeah, I don't think if he had to say another word, he would have been able to do it, quite honestly. So shout out to Mr. Dale. So anyway, that was I just wanted to recognize the other players and people who had passed away in the past.
Bob Gansler too? Yeah, no.
As far as I know, he's still alive.
Did you just kill someone on this show? That's the biggest fine, I think. I think that's a $50 fine if you kill someone who's alive.
I thought he had passed. Of course, we have a few owners who have passed over the years too. So
I think we just doubled the value of the fine jar with Robert killing Bob Gansler.
Yeah, now you're going to make me feel bad that I didn't mention the owners.
Bob Gansler is alive according to Wikipedia.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah, because I thought I heard something from him recently, but that doesn't.
Okay, well, good.
A fine of the highest order.
I did go through and I was updating the all-time SKC players Wikipedia as you were going through the memoriam. There are some that seem to be alive, but they have the cross next to them. So interesting.
Yeah, that is. It's very sad about Gadi Kinda, and I don't. This may be a bit selfish of me, but I don't like that we don't know what happened. I would like to know what he was going through, and it just. Such a young man dying kind of suddenly like this. I maybe it's selfish of me, but I would like to know what he was going through.
He was playing in March. He played in March, and then
scary, man.
But again, everybody says this stuff, but just always remember, take the time, love people, do all the, be kind to people, all that good stuff. It all matters, but enjoy every day when you can.
All right, nice quick transition. Someone who was enjoying every day the best they can was that woman in the body slam video in NWSL. Did you guys see this? Who was this?
This was Kayla Fisher of Racing Louisville, just basically taking the hair of Madison Hammond of Angel City and just ripping her to the ground. And it's crazy that, the ref obviously didn't see it as it was happening, but it took VAR to get this.
Oh, this was a VAR red. Wow.
Yes.
Was there, I have no context. Were they scuffling all game?
So I don't know how long a fine is going to be for this, but Racing Louisville also just got Ari Borg's back. She just finished her suspension for pushing a ref 3 games ago. So
wait, so this was
one suspension in, 1 session out. Different person.
Okay. Whew.
Same team.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think we're doing this enough justice, because she didn't take her and slam her front of her face into the ground. She took her, slammed her almost front face into the ground, and then threw her back.
Yeah, yes. It was a double lunge. Like, she grabbed the hair, pulled her forward, and then threw her back the other way. Just vicious.
I retweeted it on Twitter if anyone wants to go see it.
Gosh.
Ponytail whiplash, that's what it was.
So the question here, more or less blatant than Tim Melia's body slam?
More.
Oh, more.
Definitely worse.
I think the double that there's 2 motions definitely makes it worse. And, Tim Mealy only got a yellow, so he didn't do anything wrong.
Well, I still don't think Tim did that much bad anyway in that. He just pulled the guy backwards, essentially, but everybody made it like, oh my God, it's the worst thing ever.
It was not just backwards. It was up. It was up and backwards and then down.
No, he's just a little guy. Yeah. It wasn't like a giant suplex delivered by Bam Bam Bigelow or something.
Oh man!
I would assume that Okay, so Casey Current play Racing Louisville at home June 14th. So one would assume that she will not be playing.
Let's hope not.
Then they also play 2 games after that. So there is actually a decent chance that she does not play either of those games.
She doesn't deserve it.
The other one would be August 1st. So that'd be I'm going to say she probably gets like a 5-game suspension. And this would be the 4th game that she'd be suspended for.
You think 5?
I bet it's not 5. 5 seems heavy.
3.
I feel like Luis Suarez got 5 games for biting someone's ear off.
It didn't come all the way off, did it?
Okay. So it came off.
Was not.
I don't think it did.
It did not come off, pass through the canal and out the other end. No.
I don't know. I'm thinking if Ari Borgs gets a 3-game suspension for pushing a ref, I would think that another player grabbing the hair and going down.
Because it's
worse for pushing a ref.
Yeah, with refs or fans, they're gonna be way more picky about that than 2 competitors clashing.
But
I don't disagree with you.
Be 3.
Yeah, she probably should get 5 for it, but
maybe like 1 game for every second she swung her around by the hair.
Yeah, at least 2 for the 2 different jerking motions. We were looking around all the other results around MLS. Kerry, we didn't even talk about how LA, the Galaxy, were finally about to get a point, and then Cucho in stoppage time, like one of the last kicks of the game, robbed them from getting a result.
You gotta love LA Galaxy. Like at this point, I feel like some of the fans, yes, they obviously want to see a win, but like at this point, I think it's just hilarious at how far
it is hilarious.
And you gotta think that some of their fans are also like, let's see how far this goes.
Is it a case study on like that there's a problem with MLS that they had to dismantle their team? Or did they just not plan ahead well enough? They just sacrificed everything for last year and then they had to dismantle their team. Is it a knock on them, or is it a knock on like the crazy rules of this league and Garber bucks and all of that?
All right, legit question. If somebody came to you and said, we will spend everything we can leverage everything we can do every single trick that we can and have a chance for going all the way to MLS Cup and winning the MLS Cup with, players like Ricky Puig and Dejan Joveljic and all the other guys that they brought in. And then next year we're going to have to sell half the team after we win an MLS Cup. Do you take that?
No.
I know a lot of people that say, hell yeah, we'll take the MLS Cup, and then whine out the yin-yang.
And then still whine, but yeah.
Yeah, because I was on the LA Galaxy pod before we played them, and they're like, oh yeah, I know you guys are going to say that we won the cup and we shouldn't be whining. Well, yeah, that's what I'm going to say. And they would have said that before. They admitted it. They would have taken the cup.
I mean, Columbus Crew and LAFC, whenever they won, they've still been good.
Right.
Yeah, but that was better management.
Yeah, so it has to be, going back to Cody's question, it has to be just LA's issue.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but LAFC,
everything.
Come on, guys. LAFC didn't lose. They're Bowanga. Columbus Crew didn't lose Cucho Hernandez to injury. They've lost their centerpiece of their team. You can't factor that out.
Well, we lost Pulido and Kenda to injury, and nobody really forgave Sporting for being shit.
Well,
if you're thinking those are on the same level of Ricky Puig, you're wrong. But did you see the rumor that the Galaxy have made an offer to Ronaldo, though?
What?
Yeah.
I hope we still have discovery rights on him.
Exactly. That's what somebody said. Well, I hope they're ready to pay us for the discovery rights.
Except they have no money.
Yeah.
How much should we get for his discovery rights?
Hold out. I say we hold out.
MLS won't let us.
No, MLS would move worlds to make it happen. So they'd give us what we wanted to get him to get.
No,
LA.
they would make us take. They would make us take 100,000 or something like that.
Right.
Or
it wouldn't
what?
be that much.
I will personally fight.
There you go, Kerry, not Zavagnin. Or what is what we should say to that? I'm with you.
Or the refs will be even meaner to us.
Would we take Marco Royce in exchange for discovery rights? No.
No.
No, I don't know.
As a Germany fan, no.
He has been an amazing player, but he is not the player he was, and has his good moments and stuff like that, but he's not necessarily MLS suited when he doesn't have a lot of other players around him.
If you can give me his last 5 games, then yes, because his last 5 games have been really good. But outside that, no.
Can he play right back for us?
I do think that it is just an interesting discussion, at least. Like, we have talked about the roster rules, and maybe it is time to open things up with the World Cup coming, and maybe we can capitalize on things. The owners are talking about expanding things. Miami's moving it all forward. So it is a question of if all of these rules are still the best thing. And when you have one of your big teams, big market teams, win something and then dismantle their everything, it's at least an interesting question. I do, like Kerry said, other teams were able to do this and not be horrible. LA fans do not have the right to be blaming Don Garber on destroying their team.
No.
But all this is happening in the middle of a conversation about, should we open things up a little bit? Should we accelerate the growth, the money and all of this? So I don't know. It is an interesting thing that this is happening now.
Okay,
so
but
Cody, are you a Napoli fan now? Speaking of acquisitions supposed to come to MLS, De Bruyne signed with Napoli.
What? When did this happen?
Now, it was announced yesterday.
Oh man, that night I had last night really took me out of this. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I've always kind of liked Napoli. I like the light blue in Italy. Speaking of Italy, Busio got relegated, Thad. Busio and
hopefully.
Venezia down to Serie B.
Well, it's not the first time.
Not the first time.
Ouch.
What's that meme with all the pirates there? Like, is this your first time? No, it's not. Right.
Hey, that's funny that you went to Pirates in that meme, because it's not Pirates. That is from the movie A Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Really?
That meme you're referring to, because he's like in a noose, and it does. I see where you got Pirates, but it's not Pirates. It's just like Old
Like
West.
Salem Witch Trials.
Dad, you should watch that movie, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. It's like there's like 4 short stories, but they're all like little westerns. Very good.
I've actually went to look for it a few times, but it's never been on a streaming service that I actually have subscribed to. So when it's on something I don't have to like subscribe to specifically for right now, because I don't have Netflix. I'm like, I have like almost everything else. I don't have Netflix. So
Pan Shot. It's a good movie. Now I'm gonna have to watch that. I wanted to talk about the Serie A and Busio getting relegated because Parma was the one that got to stay up. And Parma is very interesting to me this year. They're owned by Kyle Krause, who's the Come and Go owner for any of my Springfield people who go to Come and Go. And he also owns the Des Moines Menace. He bought this team. They were in Serie B, and apparently he's lost like so much money on this investment already, I think getting them up to Serie A. And they were about to get relegated, and this guy, his entire investment plan was about to just be entirely destroyed. I was kind of rooting for it a little bit. I guess I should root for the American owner to do well. But yeah,
mean.
Parma stays up. I mean, I was rooting for Busio to stay up. Also, this funny, a rich guy is going to lose his investment. I kind of thought that was funnier than Busio going down.
Well, first of all, wasn't Venezia owned partly by an American? That's why they got Busio and Tessman at the same time.
So, yeah.
I don't know if he still is, but that was interesting. And this Krause guy, he owns the Des Moines Menace. Is he any relation to Michael Krause that used to play for Sporting? Because he was he was from Iowa, wasn't he? Or I mean, from like Omaha area. But I thought he was from Iowa, maybe.
Stats and Info is looking at this right now. I don't see that they are brother. But I did just learn that he stepped down as CEO of Come and Go. So his son is doing that now. So he can focus on Parma and the Des Moines Menace. Isn't that quite a jump? Like, you own the Des Moines Menace and you're like, no, I'm going to go own a Serie A team. It's impressive.
Oh, it wasn't Serie A at the time, was it?
Yeah, they were B. He got him up to A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Busio did not play in the last game, which means that his last appearance for assuming a Serie A team at the moment was in Sardinia.
Yeah, that sucks. They had to play Juve, who needed a win to get a Champions League spot. So
okay, Michael Krause was not from there. He was from Tennessee, so I was wrong. I have to admit to my faults.
They're so rare. I mean, you might as well.
No, they're not. So that's a good segue for now. Ran into some fans of the pod last night. Well, actually, two different sets.
This hasn't gone well for me in the past.
No, this was not directed. This was not really directed at you. Although the first one is another photographer. He said he walks up to me and goes, "I was just listening to your voice on the way to the stadium." I'm like, "I'm sorry."
Okay.
But it was actually the current pod, the Keeping Current with Sperry and Kerry. That's what I got to introduce it.
Yeah, that
forward.
rolls off the
There you
tongue,
go.
doesn't it?
How come that hasn't happened already?
Maybe that should be the name, Keeping Current with Sperry and Kerry.
But the other group, I ran into them as I was walking out, and they talked to me, and it was Michael and Jen or Jess and Matthew. And I said, "I apologize if I screw this up. I'm really bad with names." He goes, "I know. I listened to the pod."
That person does listen to the pod. All right. Good.
So anyway, shout out to y'all, man. I appreciate you guys listening and saying hi.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And next time you can make more fun of Cody.
Yes. And also go leave a review. Subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, and I got a picture from a fan of Thad post sprinkler.
Oh, well, what t-shirt contest?
She threatened to blackmail me with this.
That can't be shamed.
Well, he told me to use it as blackmail. So that's his words verbatim.
Was it Zach?
No. It was the one who said that I should give you more crap.
Okay. Yeah, I know who that is.
Yeah, it's very difficult to shame Thad, and he is like me in the way that if you mess with him, then he's going to get you back, and it's probably it'll be heavier than what you did to him.
Back when I was in the military and there were people playing practical jokes in the barracks, it was like all over the place. But people quickly learned you do not play practical jokes on Thad because you will suffer for it.
If it's
Damn, I killed Bob Gansler. I'm in big trouble.
This is the thing that me and Thad are the most alike on anything in this world. If someone does something to you unprovoked, me just doing something equal back to you is not equal because it was unprovoked. I have to do a little more to get you back. It's undeniable logic. That
like something tenfold or something like biblical epically bad.
Okay, well, yeah, I don't know about
sending
that.
a plague on us.
But I have faith because Kerry is actually a relatively nice person, so I don't think she would actually try to do some harm to me.
Okay, well, if you are one of these cynical fans that we were talking about, maybe they're still KZ is still too much Peter Vermees for you, but things are starting to get fun again. Listen to it in our voices. Thad's getting a little tingly, even if he doesn't want to admit it. It's okay to support this team again. They're gritty, they're fun. I like the guys on the field. Everyone, if you're on the fence, get back out there. It's fun again. I promise you. Sport night.
The other side don't seem so tough, and 3 own goals ain't all that rough. Our skipper has just been sent off. Supporters strong have all gone soft. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. Give me beer or whiskey, wine or gin, anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking.